Hi, everyone. This is Sharon Bond with Parent and Family Engagement. Thanks for listening to our recording on campus involvement. We're going to talk about how your students can get involved with student organizations, fraternity and sorority life, how they can look for a resident assistant position, and different ways they can get involved throughout their time here at DU. Today's presentation is going to be from Jessie Stellini, Associate Director of Student Engagement, Julianne Tos, Coordinator of Fraternity and Sorority Life, Lindsay Patton, Manager of Communications and Community Relations with our Housing and Residential Education Office. So let's get started with Jessie Stellini.
Hi, I'm Jessie Stellini. As Sharon mentioned, I'm the Associate Director for the Office of Student Engagement. So on the screen, you can see the various things that our office takes care of on campus. So part of our office is Fraternity and Sorority Life, so you'll hear from Julianne in a little bit. We also do a lot of leadership development and, of course, programs and events through our team. So the two primary organizations that our office advises on campus, the Undergraduate Student Government and the DU Programming Board, are both advised directly out of our team. You can see here a little bit of how they're each made up. Undergrad Student Government is really about the governance of things happening on campus. They do a lot less of the programming and event planning, but they are here to make sure that the students have a voice on campus. And one of the things that's really exciting is that first-year students can be a part of the Undergraduate Student Government with some first-year senator positions. And then the DU Programming Board, DUPB for short, that's where all of our programming and events happen. So they're the group on campus. They're the longest running student organization on campus, and they are in charge of putting on events that are geared to everyone on campus. So they do a lot of large scale programming, some small weekly programming that can be expected, things like that. And first year students are encouraged to apply to be part of DUPB as well. In addition to those two organizations, our office is kind of the home to all of our undergraduate student organizations. We've got over 100 student orgs on campus that your student can be involved in, and through their involvement, they get assistance with leadership development. So whether they're just a member of the student org or they apply for leadership positions within their student org, there's opportunities to grow and learn how to be the best possible leader on campus. We support all of our undergrad student orgs through faculty and staff advisors. Every student org is required to have a faculty or staff advisor, and our office helps support those advisors and make sure that they've got the most up-to-date information on how to best support their student orgs. And then finally, we've got a database of student orgs that's coming online hopefully very soon. We're in the process of building that out right now and working on it, and it's getting close. But that will be a great place for students to kind of find out about what organizations exist on campus and how to get in touch with those students who are in charge of those organizations. The other great way to find out about the orgs that are here on DU's campus is at the involvement fair at the end of Discoveries Week. The organizations will each have tables out so they can meet in person with students who might be excited and interested in getting involved. And then finally, our office connects with a lot of the large scale events that go on campus that are hosted by the university as a whole. So we've got our hand a little bit in homecoming in the fall quarter, global reveal when students find out where they're going abroad, if they've chosen to do a study abroad program, and the Crimson and Gold Awards at the end of the year to celebrate how awesome our campus is and what great things are happening. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Julianne to talk a little bit more about FSL.
Hi, like Jessie said, my name is Julianne and I am the coordinator for Fraternity and Sorority Life here at DU. I'm going to use the acronym FSL, which stands for Fraternity and Sorority Life, just so you all know what I'm talking about. So FSL at DU consists of 20 chapters that fall under 3 different councils, as you can see here on the slide. IFC is the Interfraternity Council, which is a council that programs and governs our 7 men's social fraternities. The Panhellenic Association is the council that programs and governs our 7 women's social sororities. And our MGC is the council that programs and governs our 6 multicultural fraternities and sororities. Below, you'll be able to see the recruitment dates for each of these councils. IFC will be recruiting September 19th through 25th. Panhellenic will be recruiting September 13th through 16th. And MGC will be recruiting by chapters. And this is all information that will be available for your students through orientation. When your student is joining a fraternity or sorority, they can expect to gain social skills and networking opportunities, leadership skills, philanthropy work, connections and friendship through these organizations. When joining a fraternity or sorority, your student can expect an added cost to the experience here at DU, and the dues vary between chapter and chapter. If you need any more information on this, the best contact will be the email seen below. It is cl.fslinfo@du.edu. And now here's Lindsay.
All right. So like Julianne said, my name is Lindsay. I work in the Housing and Residential Education Department. I am the manager of communications and community relations. And so housing and residential education, or HRE as we like to call it, it's a little bit different in the way students can be involved on campus. So we really just kind of wanted to cover the different student positions that we offer, as well as kind of ways that our incoming first-year students can get involved before they want to start thinking about maybe applying to be an RA or a desk assistant or anything for the next year. So for our student positions in HRE, we have resident assistant, or RAs, which is probably our most popular position. Students work for the 10 months, during school, and they are compensated room and board, and then they also are required to work the front desk for a set number of hours per week. Anything on top of that is paid. And we find that our students who apply to be RAs really enjoy their experience and find that they get even more involved on campus once they become RAs, because they're serving as a resource for their residents, whether they're in a first-year building or in a returning student area. There's always questions from their residents about how can I get more involved, or what are, these are my interests, what are some things that I can do to kind of adhere to those, and what are opportunities for me on campus. So that's a really great way for students to get involved. And we do our RA hiring. We start in January for the next year. So we've hired our RAs for the 2019-2020 year, and we'll start hiring for the 2021 year, 2020-2021 year, in January 2020. So if any students are thinking about that or considering that, now's a great time to really start chatting with their RAs, getting involved in the building, going to building-wide socials, which we'll talk about here in a second, and just kind of getting their face and their name out there. Desk assistants work at the front desks of each of the residence halls, and that is a completely paid position. Students who have work study or not, both can apply. And that's still a great way to get involved on campus, because you are kind of that first line of contact for folks coming in asking what programs there are or anything like that. Our desk assistants get probably any question under the sun about pretty much anything. So it's a great way for students to stay knowledgeable on what's happening in and around campus, and for them to kind of build their network as well. They'll get to work with a lot of different students. We have over 90 RAs on campus that work at the desk, and then about 20 desk assistants. So they will get to kind of reach out and make those friendships. We also have assistant desk manager and desk manager positions, which oversee each of our front desks. The assistant desk manager position is a paid position, and then the desk manager position is similar to the RA position in that it's a stipend, and the room and board is included with their 10 months of work. So again, just really great ways to kind of get involved and build that network. And then, depending on the people that they meet, being able to kind of branch out and get involved in the clubs that Julian and Jesse kind of talked about and touched on earlier. For programs and activities, each of our RAs hold floor socials throughout every quarter for their residents, and there's also building-wide socials that each residence hall or apartment community will put on for students. It's a great way for students to meet their peers and build connections. They might have a neighbor who they didn't realize had common interests, and they want to start a club. for whatever, archery or whatever they're thinking. And so it's just a great way to meet those people and build those connections, and kind of further your ability to branch out and get more involved. And then HRE hosts events on campus throughout the year. One that really comes to mind around October, we do our We Are Culture, Not a Costume campaign, where we'll have kind of a quote unquote haunted house, and students come by and they get to meet with different departments and different groups across campus that are tabling at that event with us. And so just attending those events and those activities are also a great way to get involved on campus. And we're completely open to suggestions as well. We've had students say, hey, this would be a really great building-wide social, and it's not something we've thought about. So if any students ever have questions or ideas, they can talk to their RA, their building staff, or if they have any questions about anything on this slide, they can contact us at housing@du.edu, or they can also, when they're on campus, come into our office. We're in Nagel 136. And with that, I'm going to pass it back over to Sharon.
Okay, thanks for joining us, everyone. I hope you found some really good information about ways that your students can get involved on campus. And if you still have some questions and it doesn't relate to the areas that you saw here or the contact info that was on the presentation, you can always email me, parents@du.edu, and I can help you find the answers. And your students are going to get a lot more information about the student organizations, FSL, and different positions and housing if they're interested in those. They're going to get a lot of that and more during Discovery's orientation. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.